series, we'll be using Autodesk Inventor's Future, the frame generator, to design and create blueprints for a 12-foot utility trailer. For my classes, I like to use a set of plans that I got from this website. It's trailerplans.com. We had them when I got to the school I was at, and I use them primarily to teach CAD and also to teach kids how to read blueprints. If you have these plans, they're great. You can get them if you would like. There's different versions. I just found this is a ready to go project that I have a way to easily verify that the kids are designing their project correctly. You can use kind of anything you want for the frame generator. This just helps with these plans. They help keep kids organized and on track, and ensure that everybody's projects are the same, which makes it easier for grading. So you can, like I said, you can get these plans. You might already have them. There's different, goosenecks and bumper pulls and all kinds of different trailers, cattle trailers and dump trailers. But I found that they're real useful for teaching kids Inventor, especially the frame generator. So I'll pull open the plans that we're using. Like I said, it's a 12-foot utility trailer. We'll kind of scroll through it. The nice thing about these plans is it gives you not only the dimensions and step by step how you would build it in the shop, which is the exact same way you would design it in Inventor, but it also gives you a cut list for each step, and so it makes it easy for kids to know when they're using the frame generator what to assign, what metals to assign. And one thing I will be sure to say, frame generator, it is great for doing metal projects such as trailer, where you're placing different items, different materials. It's not to take the place if you're wanting to do something wood or sheet metal or things like that. This is really for structural steel. And so I just want to clarify that real quick. But we'll scroll through. We'll do step 1 and 2 in this video, and then we'll make some other videos going through the different steps as we go through. Like I said, it goes step by step. And this is really a way that you would do it, building it in the shop, but also drawing it in Inventor. So we'll get started in step 1. And so step 1 is our main frame. And so I'll open Inventor. I'm going to draw everything. It's called a skeleton part. So I'm going to draw everything in a standard IPT, standard part file. And once that loads, we will get started. Now, so we're gonna start just by drawing a rectangle of our main frame here, and then as we move along, step 2 will be the cross members, and so we'll just draw a line straight across in place where we want our cross members, and then I'll show you how to insert the frame materials. So we're going to start a 2D sketch. Remember these 3 planes, these are kind of your master planes when you start 2D sketch. This one here, the XZ plane, is going to be your horizontal plane, as if it were your shop floor, shop table. That's the easiest way for my students to understand it. If I'm going to build a trailer, I'm not going to build it standing up vertical. I want to build it across the shop floor. So I'm going to select this plane, and then, like I said, our first step. So step 1, we'll scroll back up, and I'll zoom out a little bit. But step 1 is just a rectangle, and it's 144 inches long, 78 inches wide. It is like I said, a rectangle. So we'll use the 2-point rectangle tool. We'll start at 0, 0, click and drag, and then I can use tab and tab in between my two dimensions. So it's 144 and 78. I hit enter. And so now I have what is going to be my main frame. And these are outside dimensions. So our main frame is 3 by 4 by 1/4 inch angle. And so our dimensions, our rectangle is going to be outside to outside and then front to back. And so make sure you keep that in mind. We will finish this sketch, and then we will start a new 2D sketch on the same plane for our cross members. And I always like to do each step as much as I can on separate sketches, and later on you can turn them on, turn them off, turn off visibility as you're going along, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot cleaner and neater in appearance. Now I'm on sketch 2, but I want to reference my my sketch from sketch 1. So I'm going to go project geometry. I'm going to select my 4 sides, and then looking at my drawings, I have let's see if I can turn this where it won't let me turn it. But in my drawings, you know, I'm going off of, if I start at the front of the trailer, to the front of my first cross member is 3 inches, and then from front of cross member to front of cross member it's 21, and then 24, and then I get down and it'll be 19 for the last one. So I'm going to start, and I'll just draw some lines, and we can look at our plans. It'll tell us there's 7 cross members, so I'm just going to draw 7 lines, and you can put them fairly accurate on the spacing, but we'll come back and I drew that one a little long, but we'll come back and use the dimension tool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now I'm going to use dimension, and I'm just going to go off the front, and it's 3, and then it's 21. When we do this, when we get to the end, our last one should come out correctly. And so we'll do it for each cross member. Then our last one was 19. And then from front to front, it should be 5. Now, if I go ahead and click this, it will probably pop up with an error that it'll over constrain. That's fine. You can accept it. It will just put those dimensions in parentheses. And all that's saying is you already have all the dimensions that it has to, you know, that's what that has to be. You cannot change it. So the rest of them I could double click and change dimensions. This one in the parentheses, it won't let me change it. It's driven off of these other dimensions. And so now we have our main frame and our cross members. I'm going to finish sketch. I will save this, and it's very important on when using the frame generator to save everything in the same folder for the project. So we're doing a trailer, a 12-foot trailer. I'm just gonna call it. I already have some folders saved. I've done this in some presentations previously, but I'm just gonna call it new 12-foot trailer, and then I will save my part name as skeleton frame. You can call it frame, you can call it whatever you want, but you will need to save it. Like I said, save it all in a folder, and then I'm going to come open new standard assembly, and then place. You'll click place. We'll go to our folder. I called it new 12-foot trailer, skeleton frame. And then I'm going to hit escape. And now what I'm going to do, I will need to save this again. So save it in the same folder. We'll call it final assembly. And then once you save it, you'll go to design, insert frame, and on the newer versions, so I have Inventor 2022 that I'm using. Some of the older versions, this pop-up screen will look different. It all functions pretty much the same. It just looks a little different. The newer versions will look like this. So we'll select our category. So our category is angle. Now you want to keep your standard as ANSI. That is the standard of shapes as far as, you know, our different structural steel shapes. This category here, channels, I-beams, etc. We want ANSI. That's what we use here in the U.S. And then we will come down to family. So there's two different options for angle. There's equal angles, which would be like 2 inch by 2 inch or 3 inch by 3 inch, or there's unequal angle. And so that's going to be what we're using for our frame. We're using 4 by 3 by quarter. So then we'll select our size, scroll down, 4 by 3 by quarter. We want it as mild steel. You can change this, but obviously we'll primarily use mild steel there. And then if you select these lines, it'll give you kind of a heads up, or not a heads up, but kind of a display of what it would look like. Preview, I guess would be the right term. And so when we're selecting, you know, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. First off is, you know, when you select, it will, you select the line, you have the option of 9 different places to put that angle around or in relation to that line. And so this is a better view. So right now, our angle, imagine if it were a piece of square tubing or rectangular tubing, that line from our part file, from our sketch, that line is in the middle of our angle or our tubing, whatever you're using. And so now if I click on each one of these buttons, dots, it moves it in relation to that line. And so, you know, you need to pay attention to which side of the line you need to be on. Now, in our case, we're going to add a tongue, we're going to add uprights, we're going to add other stuff, so we need to really pay attention to which side of the line we're on. And then the second thing is you have, you know, you have here rotate, so you can rotate it 360 degrees, however you need to. You can offset it. Now, sometimes it's hard to predict which offset moves it which direction, but it'll move it left and right or up and down. Sometimes you'll just have to pretty much do trial and error. The last thing is paying attention to which end of the line you're clicking on. So these lines, imagine at the midway part, so we'll look at this rear piece. So if I click on one end, it's putting it in correctly. If I click on the other half, a lot of times it'll put it in a different direction. So you do need to be careful with that. And then we'll go ahead and finish putting our frame in, our main frame. And we want to make sure that we are inside of our dimensions. So our total width is going to be 78 by 144. Now, a couple of things that we would do in the shop. Obviously, you can't have this overlap area, so we can miter. And with the newer versions, you can do all the miters at the same time. So we can select all of our frame members. We'll miter, and then it will miter these angles to be more representative of what we would find in the shop. Now we're going to come back and add our cross members. And so our cross members are angle iron, but they're 2 by 2. And then we'll double check 2 by 2 by 1/4 inch. So we'll come down 2 by 2 by 1/4. And then we need to pay attention to which side is our front. And so right now our cross member is going in the wrong direction. And so we'll rotate it. And then we can also flip ends. And so now it is putting it in the correct way. So and then our last cross member, we'll look at it. Our last cross member is facing forward. So we will need to make sure to put that in, go in the correct direction. And that's a little detail that I like to, I pay attention to when grading students' projects off of this is, are they paying attention to putting in these cross members the correct direction? Are they putting it on the correct side of the line, etc.? So we will make sure that and so now we're on the correct side of the line, facing the right direction. And so we'll hit OK. And when you hit OK, so what Inventor does in the frame generator is it will automatically create a folder and save these components, frame components, in that folder. So that's why I said at the beginning, it is important that you save everything in the same place in the correct folder. Save it on your flash drive or external hard drive, wherever, but make sure it is in a folder dedicated to that project, and everything related to that project is saved in that same place. So we'll hit OK. And then, so we have our cross members. There's a few things that we will need to do for our, to finish it up, make it more accurate to the drawings. Is our cross members are, if you look at our plans here, they're 77.5 inches long. And so obviously our cross members can't go all the way outside to outside. You have your 4 by 3 by 1/4 inch frame. And so they're going to have to be a 1/4 inch shorter on each side. Now if we come to our tools tab and go to measure, and we measure, right now we're at 78 inches. And so what it's doing is it's going all the way to the outside, and you can kind of see how it overlaps here, but we need to make sure that we correct that. So I'm going to go to design, and there's a couple of different tools you can use. You can use lengthen and shorten or trim extend. A lot of times I just use trim extend. You'll select the face that you want to trim to, and then you'll select the cross members, and I can select all of my cross members for that side. I'll hit apply, and then I'll do I'll show you lengthen and shorten on this other side. So lengthen and shorten, you'll select your cross members, and used to you weren't able to do this in the older software. You weren't able to select all of them at the same time, but I'm going to select minus 0.25 and hit OK. And now if I come back to my tool, and measure is on tool, it's also on the inspect tab. I select it, and you can see that we're now the right length. And so now I'm going to save it, hit OK, and then you can come back to your skeleton frame in your part file. You can add the top rails and uprights. You can add your tongue, and really you'll just do that continuously. You'll just add sketches, and then you can come and it'll automatically update in your assembly file. So that is step 1 and 2 of the 12-foot trailer project using the frame generator. I'll create some more videos featuring going over the next step. So thank you for watching.